Hello everybody, welcome back to Law Hero. My name is Jen, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure you are, because we are trying to make the best ever law channel here, where information is disseminated quickly, efficiently, and basically you come on here for 15 minutes and you go away with a new insight into how you can have a better legal career. That is basically it. So it's called Law Hero because this is basically a place to come for all your legal needs, not legal advice, but all your legal needs in your career to becoming a solicitor, lawyer, barrister, foreign lawyer, legal intern, trainee, whatever you want. Lawyer is a very broad term, especially on this channel. So just so you know, I'm a solicitor, legal counsel, and this is my hobby. I do this on the side and I very much enjoy it. So today we are going to speak about the competencies of a star lawyer. Now, when you think of a star lawyer, you think of like Harvey Specter, I don't know, like even I would say Judge Judy is a star lawyer, just the way she's able to manage and be very agile, and she knows when to pull the punches and when to not. They're kind of in the media, not media, but like on television or whatever. And then when I think of star lawyers I've met, we'll just say off the top of my head, they are adaptable, thorough, they're able to delegate, they are resourceful, they are empathetic to their client, they're charming. There's a little bit of charm there, kind of like, I would almost go as far as to say it's like a sexual energy. And I know that's really far out and probably not what you wanted to hear, but if you know anything about psychology and if you read Freud, basically he says that everything we do in life is motivated by sex. But sometimes, like if you want to sell, if you want to be a salesperson, a lot of the time those people are very charismatic, and charisma and kind of charm, a lot of that has its roots in confidence, and confidence basically is a biological thing, because like if an animal is confident, like a peacock, when they put up their feathers, that means biologically that they're more fertile, or you know, that they are a good mate to reproduce. So that's why I say it goes back to like a sexual energy, but like not in that way, if you understand me. It's why we're drawn to charismatic people. Doesn't mean you go around having sex with everybody. I just wanted to say that. So, and the reason I include charisma in being a star lawyer is because, don't get me wrong, there are lawyers out there who are extremely good at their jobs, but they cannot get clients. And unfortunately, law is a business, and in order to maintain your business, you need to bring in new business. You can't rest on your laurels. You need to constantly innovate. Innovation is another one, because law is going towards a massive innovation period at the moment. You've all heard me ranting on about it. I'm not going to say it again, but if you are somebody who does not like change, you're not going to be a star lawyer. Okay, so the very first attribute I'm going to attribute to being a star lawyer is commerciality. You might have heard of commercial awareness when you're doing interviews and things like that. Now, I am not talking about people who want to become general practitioners, or we'll say like criminal defense lawyers, family law lawyers. I have no real experience or knowledge around that. I am talking about corporate law here, because that's my background and that's what I know. So I'm not going to talk about anything else. But obviously, in the word corporate, corporation, commercial endeavors, if you are not a commercially minded person, if you don't understand profit and loss, if you don't understand moving towards selling and facilitating your client to sell or provide whatever they have, you are not going to be a star lawyer. You might be someone who's very good at turning around documents and being like a worker bee behind the scenes, but you will never be a partner in a law firm, no matter how many hours you put in, if you don't have that sense of commerciality. And a lot of people ask me, like, Jen, I don't understand, like they're asking me to be more commercial. Okay, so basically Commerciality is, if you were in your client's shoes and if you were trying to bring in more money, or if you were trying to grow your business, what would you do? It's as simple as that. Commerciality, you can pick it up fairly handy. I'm lucky, I'm a butcher's daughter, so I learned how to sell from a very young age, and I learned the importance of sales. And yeah, it was pretty obvious. If we came home in the evening time with meat in the van, that means we didn't sell. So I saw that when I was like 5 years old. Amazingly, my father would show me how to upsell, which was a very important skill, and in the law business we call this adding value. The other thing he taught me was how to always please the customer and how to understand what your customer wants. So yeah, I was lucky I got it from a young age. If your parents are involved in entrepreneurship, you'll probably pick it up much quicker. But if you haven't come from that kind of background, you can teach yourself that easily. I always say, whenever you're out and about, be very observant of price, be very observant of where products are placed. The new products are usually placed on the bottom shelf. The high-end, well-selling products are usually in the middle, and then on the top are the products who are moving towards the middle. That's, for example, like product, price, promotion, and place, the 4 P's of marketing, all of that kind of stuff. The more you read around that kind of stuff, you are going to become more commercial, and obviously the more experience you have with corporate clients, the better you become as well. The second big attribute clients are looking for are speed, responsiveness, and this is because the longer decisions take to make, you could lose opportunities as a client. So if your lawyer is the one holding up the deal, you might just lose the deal. The other thing that is important as well is that there's deadlines set, and you have to factor in some time for legal advice. But if the legal advice is taking too long, you might lose that client. So if you are not able to turn around stuff, if you're not able to meet deadlines, no matter how good your work product is, you're going to be dropped like a hot potato. Okay, the third one I think is really, really important, is that you are an amazing communicator, or like you're an integral communicator. So what this means is like you're basically like a switchboard between many, many different stakeholders. So for example, if you're in-house legal counsel like me, you're able to have a good relationship with all the internal stakeholders. So all the different types of mini businesses within your business, like IT, finance, risk, compliance, board of management, whatever middle management is there, all the heads of whatever departments, and then that you're able to manage like your external law firms, your external suppliers, trainee, whoever you delegate work to, and then you're also able to deal with the client. So if the client, if you're in private practice and you're dealing with a client, that you're able to deal with whoever is like the manager of that account, or whoever is leading, whoever the in-house is and that in-house legal counsel is in that organization, that you're able to basically maneuver yourself between all of them, and you're like the short circuit for everything. You're like the project manager. I know people hate that word, but you're in the middle of it all, and you're able to seamlessly manage it between everybody. That is a really, really good skill. And if you cannot deal with many, many people, and okay, so the extroversion introversion thing does really come into account here, and the reason is because like if you are introverted, that means you're not going to speak up. It doesn't mean you're not going to, but you're not going to be as inclined to speak up when there's conflict, when you perceive something that's going wrong, when you have to tell someone off, when you have to break bad news to somebody. Having an extroverted personality, and I'm going to go through the different personalities in another video, having an extroverted personality as a lawyer, and especially as a project manager, is really, really important. Some introverts can push through in the workplace, but they do find it more challenging because they're essentially going against their own nature. So yeah, being an extrovert definitely does help with communication. By the way, all of these skills are listed in my book. It's only €25. It's called How to Get a Training Contract, but those but the chapter in it, Skills of a Lawyer, it covers all of this, just so if you're wondering where you can get it in one central place. So the other really important areas which clients have identified are, so we'll say if you're a client and you go, so obviously if you're going to private practice, you're looking for specialist knowledge, but some people in private practice will say if they specialize in commercial contracts, they might have a very strong knowledge of IP/IT law or corporate law. So sometimes you're kind of looking for a unicorn, basically, someone who is extremely specialized but is also able to manage other areas. Like as an in-house legal counsel, when we're looking at external law firms, the one thing we don't want is for work to go out to private practice and then they come back and say, yeah, okay, we've done this bit but not this bit because you didn't ask us to do it, and yeah, like we need to be instructed further. That's really annoying for in-house counsel, because we'll say like if it's a project in of itself and the lawyer has only done one part of it, this is the constant dance that goes on between in-house counsel and private practice. So like private practice are always really careful around scoping because they're based on billable hours and that's how they have to be profitable. But we're always trying to get more into the scope, obviously, because we want more bang for our buck. But what's really annoying is when you farm out a whole project and they only do part of it, because then we might just miss a deadline. So yeah, if you have the like proactive kind of foresight to do the whole thing and then afterwards be like, okay, yeah, we amended the scope, we'd be far more likely to pay for that because the job got done. Yeah, I mean, to hide behind, oh, this is my speciality, I don't do anything else, it's not really acceptable nowadays because there's so many more strands of law connected to one issue. So for example, like if it's a competition law issue, but then there's some other stuff that come up, like I don't know, corporate governance or something, you're kind of expected to go and sort it out and not like go, oh, I'm just a competition law lawyer, that's all I can do. It's like, I'd say you could do a little bit more than that. So yeah, you have to be a little bit multifaceted as a star lawyer. You have to be really approachable, I think. Nobody wants the dusty lawyer sitting behind their desk with, heretofore I attach my advices, like blah, blah, blah. No one cares about your fancy words. And clients nowadays are, you know, very kind of like a young, kind of fresh attitude to doing business. Like if you think of like the Colson brothers in Stripe, or think of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, or, you know, you think of all these kind of young entrepreneurs, so like they're not going to accept and like that's filtering down to every type of business. They're not going to accept fancy words. They just want to know, can they do whatever they want to do? Like these people have no limits. So you need to understand that. You need to point out the legal risk, but you also need to assist them in what they want to do. Some innovation and creativity. I mean, most lawyers aren't innovative or creative, but if you're able to come up with like a creative solution to somebody's problem, like they will love you forever. And it's easier said than done, but I find creativity can come from actually mulling over the problem a bit longer, and obviously experience helps, because through experience you learn to recognize patterns, and once you can recognize patterns, those can be applied in an interdisciplinary manner. So for example, if you saw a solution in one industry, you can apply it to another industry, and then you'll just look so clever. But that's basically like, for example, with I always use the example, but remember with the iPod, that was the first one, wasn't it? Yeah, the iPod with the spinny wheel. I remember I had one, but that spinny wheel actually came from HP. So the whatever, I don't think it was Steve Jobs. I think it was the other guy, Wozniak. Yeah, Steve Wozniak was in HP, and he brought the idea of the spinny wheel to the iPod. So that's, for example, solving a solution. Yeah, I think I've covered all. Check out the book because that has all of that in it. Many people get training contracts off that book. I have proof because I have many emails telling me so. And yeah, if you guys need any help with your job interviews, please check out lawhero.eu. And yeah, check me on Instagram, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.